Gio's mighty sand fortress. The sun was a bright golden coin in the sky as Gio arrived at the great seaside sandcastle contest. With his favorite blue bucket in one hand and a sturdy shovel in the other, his curious eyes scanned the beach. Everywhere he looked, children were already piling up mounds of sand. Gio's heart raced with excitement. He didn't just want to build a castle, he wanted to build a masterpiece that could stand against the world. While other kids rushed to build tall, skinny towers, Gio remembered what his grandfather had told him. A castle is only as good as its feet. Gio knelt in the wet sand and began to pack it down. He pounded and smoothed until he had a wide, square base that felt as solid as a rock. It wasn't the tallest start, but it was certainly the strongest. A boy named Nico stopped by, looking at Gio's flat square. Nico's own castle was already 3 feet high, swaying slightly in the wind. "Why are you spending so much time on the bottom, Gio?" Nico asked, balancing a plastic flag on a wobbly spire. Gio smiled, his eyes bright. "You'll see, Nico. This base is going to hold up the whole kingdom." Just as Gio finished his first majestic balcony, a shadow flickered over the sand. It was Salty, the cheekiest seagull on the coast. Salty loved high places, and he had his eyes set on Gio's highest point. With a loud squawk, the bird began to circle lower and lower, preparing to land right on the delicate sand carvings Gio had just perfected. Gio knew he had to act fast but be gentle. He didn't want to hurt Salty, he just wanted to save his tower. Gio grabbed a colorful spinning pinwheel from his kit and held it high. As the wind caught the petals, they blurred into a whir of bright colors. Salty, startled by the spinning light, decided that the pier was a much better place to sit and veered away with a disappointed chirp. With the seagull gone, Gio turned his attention back to his work. But the air was changing. The salty smell of the ocean grew stronger, and the sound of the crashing waves grew louder. The tide was coming in earlier than anyone expected. Gio looked at the horizon and saw a line of white foam marching toward the shore. He didn't panic, he simply rolled up his sleeves. "The water is coming," Nico cried, watching the first ripples lick at the edges of the contest area. Gio realized his strong base might not be enough. He began to dig. He carved a deep, wide moat around his fortress and used the extra sand to build a thick seawall. Nico watched in awe as Gio worked with lightning speed, turning his castle into a true island stronghold. Then came the great wave. It was a wall of blue and white, rushing across the sand like a hungry giant. It swallowed the smaller mounds and knocked over the plastic flags. As the water hit Gio's seawall, it hissed and sprayed. The moat filled up instantly, redirecting the force of the ocean around the sides of the fortress instead of through it. When the water finally receded, the beach looked very different. Most of the sandcastles were gone, turned back into flat, wet lumps of brown sugar. Nico's tall tower had vanished completely. But there, in the middle of his moat, Gio's castle stood tall and proud. The walls were damp, and the carvings were smoothed, but the structure was as solid as ever. The judges walked down the beach, marveling at the lone survivor. Gio was awarded the golden trophy for the strongest fortress. He didn't keep the glory for himself, though. He invited Nico and the other kids to help him build an even bigger city on top of his sturdy base. Even Salty the seagull returned, perched safely on a nearby rock, watching the children play in the afternoon sun.